Well, here I am pulling up to FedEx to pick up my package that should have been delivered. You know, that's how FedEx likes to roll. On my way back home from FedEx now. You know how that can be. So I got a note on my door that's they apparently knocked, tried to drop it off, and I wasn't there, and I was definitely there. And nobody knocked, nobody rung the doorbell. So I had to come the whole way up here and wait almost an hour for my driver to get back here so I could pick up my package. So the same thing didn't happen again tomorrow, because it probably would have. So anyways, now I got the package and we're heading back home. Alright, so the custom gauges are here. Gauge cluster is all dusty and disgusting now. But here are the new custom faces. Drop them on the floor. As I said, it is in kilometers per hour, which kind of sucks, but it's not the end of the world. The HVAC control cluster is my favorite, though. I love the way that looks. I'm super excited. I'm gonna go out and put these in the car ASAP. So, first thing I gotta do is pull this here apart. It's really easy to do. I've done it a million times. Alright, so I got the casing off. Now I just got to pull these faces out. Alright guys, the gauge faces are in and installed in the car now, as well as the HVAC controls. So quick little update for you. After putting in the HVAC cluster and the gauge cluster, I got my glowshift gauges in today in my pod pillar. So I got my oil pressure, fuel pressure, and boost. Also have a volts gauge over here, and I'm going to have the air-fuel ratio next to this once I get my vent pod. So everything's in here. I also got my NRG quick release on. Actually using a hose clamp to make contact with the hub. I want to get some donut connectors for these just to make it a little bit better. But steering wheel's on the way. And I got them hooked up, so if I touch these two, it works. So whenever I get the actual steering wheel with the horn button, I can plug those in and it'll work. Also, I'm super impressed with the fitment on this. I had an eBay hub before in the past, and the fitment was awful. If I can get this to go down. It fits really snug. Also, I forget if I already showed you guys or not, but I have blue LEDs under the dash now. All these light up blue. It's a slightly different shade of blue, but I have my blue LEDs in all my controls. All the gauges light up blue with red needles. And then I also did a little bonus thing here. So as you saw my cigarette lighter ring, and when I bought the car, there was a hole here. And I don't know if someone had a boost controller or a power outlet or something in this hole. But basically, I took a little piece of plastic, a piece of clear plastic, and I ran it through, I put it on the back and I welded it on. And then I put LEDs behind that plastic. So it don't look the best, but at least I made the best out of a bad situation. And there's not just a straight up hole there anymore. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to shut off all the lights in the garage so you can kind of see like the final outcome. Now when I do turn on the lights, you're going to see that the underglow neon lights are very bright in the video. And I promise you they're not as bright as they look in real life. I mean, they're bright, but they're not this bright. So my camera does over-exaggerate that a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and turn everything on. But before, I do want to show you that I have all the gauges ready to roll. Everything is ran through the hole, so here's my boost line. So whenever I get the motor in, all I got to do is plumb this into the vacuum lines and my boost gauge will work. Right here is my fuel pressure switch, so all I got to do is put the fitting on the fuel pressure rail and plug this in and my fuel pressure gauge will work. And down here I have my oil pressure gauge, so all I have to do is put the fitting on there and plug this in and the oil pressure gauge will work. So now that you see all that, I'm going to go ahead and shut the lights off. Okay, sitting in the car now. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the light switch here. So now you can see, as soon as I flip on the light switch, everything comes on, all the LEDs, the gauge cluster, the HVAC controls, the cigarette ring, and like I said, these LEDs are not this bright. That side is a little more realistic, but this side just looks way brighter than it is. For some reason, it's not quite that bright. Also, here you can see the light that I put in here, and look how blue it makes my hand look. It does not look like this in person, I promise you. If I look like the Blue Man Group, no, it's more like my arm back here, or maybe like it might look like that in person with my hand up here. Definitely doesn't turn my whole hand blue. But as you can see now, kind of what I did here. The LED is kind of behind that glass, and it disperses it. Now, if I sit like a water bottle or something in here, it'll actually light the water bottle up blue. So you might think it's tacky, you might think it's a little ricey, you know, whatever. I don't believe in the word ricer. I don't really care. You know what I mean? It's my car. I'm doing everything how I want. So if you like it, great. If you don't, sorry. But as you can see, I did the red LEDs on the back. So the needles light up red and the mileage lights up red. And I didn't really want to do that. I kind of wanted everything to stay blue. The reason I did that, though, was because I had already had it here, and I knew that there was some red, you know, the Mitsubishi symbol, the Eclipse logo, all that was already red on these faces. So I just kind of figured it would go with the theme a little bit better. And then you'll see once I turn on my glow shift gauges, they light up in a similar fashion with a red needle and blue gauges. These are also appearing way brighter than they really are, and the red is nowhere near as prominent. For some reason, it is making it look super red in my camera, and it is not super red. It is actually super blue, and you just barely see the red needle. So I don't know why it's looking like that in the camera, but I promise you it doesn't actually look like that. So then here is my volt gauge. And so yeah, that's kind of everything. You know, you kind of sit back, see how it's all gonna sort of look. I will have another gauge over there, and they'll be centered. But now you can kind of get an idea of what's going on and how everything's looking. So I'm pretty excited. All I gotta do is start tucking up some of these wires and wait for my vent pod to come so I can put the gauge in there, and wait for a little bit of money to start rolling back in so I can get my my air fuel gauge. So I've been spending a lot of money really fast on this car. Also, something I want to show you before the video ends as the update. If I can make my way over to the light switch. I got a set of Sparco R100 seats. And these will be going in the car as soon as the brackets arrive. I already put the sliders on the seats. So here's the sliders. They're already on the seat. They are super comfortable. They're a little stiff, but I mean, as far as comfort, you know, for it being a racing seat, they're pretty dang good. So both of the seats are here. They've been here for a while, but I'm waiting on my planted brackets to get here, which I bought it all at the same time, but the planted brackets are on hold for a little bit, so I think it'll probably be 4-5 more days maybe till I get those. Once I do get those, though, I can put the Sparcos in the car. And then the exciting thing is, since the fuel pump is almost done, all I gotta do is finish wiring that in. Then I can put the back seat in. I can put the Sparcos in. Well, I can vacuum and clean up this floor. Put the back seats in. Put the Sparcos in. Button this up so you can see kind of a little bit of lights leaking out there. Got to get a clamp, put that back up to how it should be. And then once the seats are in, I got to get my vent pod. Once I get my vent pod in, then we're done. I mean, we're literally done. So the interior of the car will be finished. So that will be exciting. Oh, and then my seat belts. Once I get the seat belts, I'll put them in. So I'm also waiting on that. Alright guys, that's going to be it for today's video. Thanks for checking it out. You know, hopefully we'll have more videos coming up soon, and we'll get those Sparco seats in. Also, like I said, the weather's warming up a little bit now, so I'm going to get to start painting some more stuff. hopefully get this car all cleaned up, get it put together, and then we can get the motor. Also, more exciting news, I got a major component that I need to get the car to run, which means the stuff that I need is dwindling down, and the project's moving along a lot faster than I honestly thought it would. Had the car for about 3 weeks now, and I feel like I've made 2 or 3 months worth of progress on it just because I've been putting so many hours in. But we're getting close with the interior. Once the interior is done, we can really start focusing on the exterior again. Once the exterior is done, then we can start really dialing in, finding a motor, doing the motor, turbo, trans, everything. So I want to find a used motor that already has the exhaust manifold, the intake manifold, the stock turbo. I want everything to be there. And I also think I'm going to just try and find a stock engine harness with a ECU attached. So I found an assembly for about $2,000 that was literally the 7-bolt motor with about 60,000 miles on it. It also came with the ECU and all of the engine wiring all in one bundle, which was literally turnkey. Buy it, drop it in the car, connect everything, turn the key, it would fire up. So if I can find another one like that, hopefully in a couple weeks when I have a little bit more money, that would be awesome. So that's the goal. We're getting there. But anyways, I won't waste any more of your time. I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.